Hi there, Matt here. It's going to be three things I'm going to show you in this video tutorial. First is going to be a lead gen form and what you can do with that. Second is connect that lead gen form to a follow-up system so you can follow up. And third is going to be send that follow-up system into your CRM, so customer relationship management database, so you have a record of your opportunities. So that might be applicable for you if you have a product to sell or a service to sell. So in this case, I'm going to be using my service business as an example. So but the first thing we'll cover will be a lead gen form and what that might look like. And there's going to be that follow-up system and the CRM system. So first and foremost, going to go to the lead gen form. So let's hop into that. So your lead gen form might look something like this. So you have a website, so you need their email address, and that way you'll have minimal information to follow up with your prospect and hopefully make them turn it. So we just want to reduce the friction. So we just asking for an email address. So in this case here, we're going to put in test.com, and we're going to there's a drop down system here. So in this case here, it's the lead gen form is requesting a particular sample report. So we want to make sure in the second section over here, a follow-up system, is we are able to guide them or route that information into the relevant follow-up system. So in this case here, we could do this one here and we'll click on there. And what are we going to do next? So to have this connected, we need to send it to a follow-up system. So depending what flow they go into will depend which or what sample report they choose will determine which flow they go into, but we'll create one as well. And lastly, after it's been inputted, we want it to go into a database so we can follow up. So you could be using anything in this case. As far as sample reports, this is a WordPress website, so there's plenty of options here for you. As far as forms go, we like to use Fluent forms in this case here. So what we're going to do is we're going to map some details. So what I'm going to do is go into this form here. So we're going to identify what this is here. So in Fluent forms, if we go here, we're going to go forms. And I know it's going to be, I think, number 7. Here we go. So go into settings. So we're going to go into settings because we need to create a webhook. So this one here. So I've already sort of started here. So if you don't have this, so what we're doing here, I like to use this where it's going to. The email marketing software is called Encharge, which is this one here. And then we need to label it accordingly. So it's coming from Fluent Forms and it's form number 7. So if we go back, we can see it is form number 7. There we go, form number 7. This is what it looks like, the front UI. So we're back in this section here. Create, add flow, start from blank. I'm going to name it. I'm going to do this, just do underscore because I do have one in there as well. So we've got this lead generation form. And now we're going to put it into this follow-up system. So I need a trigger. So when a certain action occurs, we want it to, this is a start. So the trigger is, what do we want to happen? Well, what we want to happen is when somebody fills in this form, we want that to go into this email marketing system. So we're going to do external form. So nice drag and drop. Click on there. Form created with It's WP Fluent Form. So there we go. There's the webhook. So we're going to copy that. Go back to the WordPress. Go to webhook. Going to click on this one. I'm going to delete that. So this is where it's requesting, and we're going to post it. So it's going to connect the data from this Fluent Forms and send it to Encharge posting. So I want to keep it as form, so we'll do save. Just going to copy that for later. So here we're going to paste what I just copied. So we're going to go Fluent Forms sample report request, to save. So it's waiting for a submission. So we're going to do a dummy submission here. So we'll go back to the site, go click on sample reports, click on here, go test.com, and we'll do the first one and submit. There we go. Now we'll click back over here. We'll wait for this to work. Add more coffee. Here we go. There it is. So that's what we sent through. So if you recall, so test at test.com. Okay, the sample report request was this one. Okay, fantastic. And the form ID was 7. All right, so do continue. Auto map fields. Remember, there was only the 2. So we've got email. That's important. We always need that. And I'm going to go sample report. I'm going to go, what am I going to map? So we'll do service. Type. Okay, so we have to work out how many different routes we need to create. So if we go back to the editor, we click on the options. So when someone wants a sample report, they can choose 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, we need 4 routes, 4 options to send their form to. So I'm going to copy the first one. Now I want to check. So I'll scroll down on the left-hand side. Let's go check condition. Click on that, and I want condition field. If you recall, it's service type. Service type is, paste it in. If it's that one, okay, the text appreciation one, second one, I'll copy that. Scroll back here. What I like about this is you've got a nice canvas to work with in Encharge. Now a lot of email marketing systems might be more linear, but this is what I like in Charge. And it's behavior based too, so I like to make it all pretty and all lined up. So I go one there, one there, one there, that can go there. I'm just going to duplicate this over here. So I've got tax depreciation building, so these are duplicates of this one. So I want to go back to here, so copy, change it to that, save, go back here, last one, go back to here. Okay, so now I'm going to connect it all. So it's going to check. It's going to check what is correct. Okay, we're going to create a tag now. So, because what I like to do, I like either the trigger to be tag based. I like the triggers to be tag based because that way you can actually force them to occur by simply placing a tag. All right, so what is it relating to? It's relating to sample report. So I'll go tags. I believe I've probably got sample. Lead. I'll keep it simple. So lead TDS. So I always like a prefix to mention what it relates to. The second one being the service. The last one, let's do sample report. Lead generation. So you would imagine if they're inquiring about your reports, they're potentially wanting to receive one later on down the track. So I'm going to create that. I'll go back to here. So if this is true, I want it to add a tag. Lead on yes. Okay, so go lead. That's the one. Now, what do I do TDS? Well, it's tax depreciation schedule. That's the service, so TDS. This one here, I'm just going to call this an estimate. I'm going to call this third one RCR, replacement cost report. And the last one, I'm going to call that IFR, initial financial report. So I'm going to go back and replicate what I just did. So I'm going to do this. So let's go rename. Let's copy that. Another tag. So we'll do RCR for the second one. And create another one. This one's IFR. Actually, that's the third one. You skipped one. If you recall, there was one estimate. So EST. Right. So let's go click on here. Just going to repeat till that. Pressing RCR. Copy and pasting. Saving time. Working smart. Not hard. Go back. I've got 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back here. 7. I'm just going to delete that so it's not confusing. Here. So copy this. Duplicate 1, 2. So this last part, when it adds tag, this is going to be the end of this flow. So I go yes. I'll change the actual tag in a moment. This one, yes. And this one, looking at an estimate. So this one is go lead, EST, that's the one. This one is going to be RCR, replacement cost report. And this one, IFR. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I'll turn that on. So every time someone comes through this page here, as it currently stands. So if you go to the website and they click on here and they put in their email address, they select a report, it's going to come through here on the Encharge. It's going to do a check. What does it relate to? What service? And it's going to tag it accordingly. So the second part we're going to do is we're going to do a follow-up system. So I have something similar, I believe. So let's see what I've got. Sample reports. There we go. So this is why. So in this case here, I've got an inquiry form. So it's similar. If you think of a a form being submitted, in this case, it's an inquiry, and it relates to this TDS. So it relates to this first service. So what I've done here is I'm going to change that. The sample report, pause. So it's going to go through all these steps here. So I'll explain what that is. So ignore these ones here. This is going to come in. There's two ways this sequence can start. So it's either they come through the form, which is a form 67, which we're not focusing on that one today, but we're focusing on this being the trigger. This, if we go back here to 7. So if you recall, this last one here, lead TDS sample report. So when they come through, in this case, sample report, I'm going to modify this one. I'm going to delete that, copy that, turn it on, go to flows, paste that in, duplicate, delete that. Going to add in, so when this tag is added, this is going to start this sequence. So we go lead gen, sample report. So the first thing I want to happen is I want to be notified. So automation, I like to, this is a Slack message. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace this part with the name of the sequence. So the sequence is going to be this one. So the channel is website forms. That's my Slack channel I want to go to. Connect there. So in this case, so I like to, under the people section, so go to people. So if we go this one here, you can see the whole history of each contact, which is great. But I like to, because a lot of sequences can happen and they might get different sort of follow-up, I like to have a system convention whereby it's tagged and it shows which sequence it's currently in by using the prefix active. So if we go back to this one, this one here. So active. So it will show up under the person's name, what they're currently in. So the active flow would be this one here. So I'm going to call this TDS. I'll just call that. I'm going to change this to something else. So active, go tags. Active TDS. Lead gen sample report. Let's just go. That'll do. So if they're currently sitting in this sequence, I want them to be tagged with that tag there. If it ends, I want them to be to there. So let's explain these colors. So I want it to wait. So just in case accidentally tagged someone, I've got 10 minutes to change it. So that's like a fail safe there before the first thing happens. So what's going to happen? These pink ones is it's a check condition. So it's going to check that the person type is a prospect. So what I've done here is if they're currently, there's a few things that could happen. So I want to make sure they don't receive information. I only want to send them information that's relevant to them. So there's a possibility they could order a sample report and they could also sign up. Like they could sign up by making a request. So I don't want them to be in two separate sequences that are going to relate to the same thing. So this one here is I don't want them to be going through this quotation sequence as well as this one, only one at a time. So the most powerful one is ideally I want them to be closer to becoming a client by making them actually go through a request for a quotation as opposed to a warm lead, which would just be sample report. So this is why I've got to check here. So if the person is a prospect and the service type is the same one, the tax depreciation, which is this one here, TDS, I don't want them to receive this follow-up sequence because they're already going to be receiving a follow-up sequence if they go through a quotation. So hopefully that makes sense. So it's either or. So it's either this one or the other one. So if that is not true, I want them to become a lead. And the first email, so I'm wanting them to sign up. So the first email is I just want them to click and fill in the details to become a client. And then when it's delivered, you wait 1 day and you can nominate when they receive it. You don't want to be sending information at ungodly hours because you might want to send in an SMS follow-up, which I'll have another video for that because there's an opportunity to use Twilio to do that as well. So if you go to, you actually integrate Twilio, which is fantastic. So pink these aqua ones are tags. So it's going to add the tag. So when this happens, this is the trigger. So bullseye starts here. It's going to send a Slack notification to administration for this business. You're going to add the tag, wait 10 minutes, check to make sure they're not currently in a different follow-up sequence. Change them to a lead, send the first email. After 1 day, we're going to check to see if they are a prospect. And this is another thing I need to do in another video, but there's other actions that will take place that will change them to a prospect. So, okay, so you're going to send them another one. So if they're not in a sequence for an actual quotation, they're going to receive another email. Going to wait another day, same check, until it gets to the very end, which ends here. So we're going to repeat that. So we go back to this one here. Ideally, we're going to build it out for 1, 2, 3. We're going to build it out for those other 3 options as well as a follow-up. So we want them to sign up. So we'll quickly do, we have copied this one, duplicate this sequence, this one. I'm going to activate that. Going to duplicate, and we're going to do the next one. Do it for RCR, take away copy. So why RCR? Because if you recall, going to do estimate. Do this one. Okay, so I'll go duplicate, we'll copy, take away that. ESD. All right, so I need to change this. So it's not, this isn't relevant anymore. So I'm going to do lead gen estimate. Okay, sample report. Oh, 11 tags. Confusing myself. Actually, just going to change that. So it stands out a bit better. Save. That should automatically update all the other tags anyway. I'll do lead. I'm going to copy. I'm going to do that one for estimate because we will need this one later. I think it's spell check. Estimate. Lead. Lead. Estimate sample report. Active. So remembering this is a duplicate scenario flow, so I need to make it relevant. So I need to make sure that end one there. need to change this. So that's not going to be relevant anymore. So we're going to have to change it to have to make sure the wording is correct. Get the correct option. So copy that, paste it, contains that, save. It's right here. You just duplicate this one, but I'm just going to do it manually. Probably be a bit quicker if I just do this, copy, paste, save over top. Save over top. Save over top. Okay, now we're going to have to modify this. So, I'm going to go edit. Okay, duplicate this. And it's going to be the first one here. So I'm just going to query estimate. Okay. So I'll think about how I'm going to reword this. No. Your next project. And we will send you some options. Okay, so this link, I'm going to change this link. So what I have also done is I go quotations, estimate, click on there. I'm going to copy this. This is going to pre-populate the service. So I want to reduce the friction for them to sign up. So generally, they'll just have to select what option they want. This is what they would normally see, but I've actually pre-done it for them. So um, this is what they'll see. Need to fill in that information. So I'm going to change that URL. Do save. I'm happy with that so far. So I need to change this. Can we assist with your building project estimate? Okay, save that. Save and close. Close that. So that should update there. Not there. It should be. Let's make sure that's. Yeah, I need to select it. Done. All right, that's right. All right, so next one, I'm going to. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to choose this. This is going to be a follow-up, so I'm going to edit. Call that Q1. Okay, confusing myself. Click on here. I need to duplicate it first. So why or FU1. So it's going to be the first follow-up. That's what it stands for. FU1. Another thing is you can be a bit clever. If they click on different links, you can actually send them to a different landing page. So it's related to that service as well. And you would probably just put the URL there. So that's okay. We're just going to keep it simple. FU1. Oh, I need to change the heading. That looks a bit horrible. Save and close. There we go. Just going to go. You can craft the emails however you want to craft them. This is just I just get repeated emails in this instance. We'll fine tune this a little bit better, roll it out a bit better. So they're going to receive 3 emails in this case here. So that's how you do that. So we're wanting them to click on there and actually request a quotation. So we want them to end up going to this page in this instance. Actually, not that one. We want them to land here and go into request actual work from us. So that's what we've done there. So the second thing is, if we go here, so we've shown a little bit of this, the form, didn't to show the sample form we put in, the follow-up system, how we created that. Now the CRM system, this is where you'd need a automation software, and the one we like Make. I've also used Pavly as well. Feeling something like this. So in the end, it's going to land in a system like this. So you can check on where your jobs are and keeping tabs on your inquiries as well. But we'll do that for another video. So we're just doing the follow-up sequence, see how it all connects. So in this case here, to get started, simply you would go start the process. Need to go to here, form 7, settings, webhook, sample reports. I call this Pavly. Go back to Pavly, make sure copy this trigger. And go save. Turn that on. So this service doesn't work anymore. Delete that. Delete that. Had a name, we'll do that, but in this case, what data came through? Email. This one here. Search the email. So in another video, I'll show you how we'll build out this in a separate video. So hopefully that helped you. Let's get you started, what you can do. So this is where the skill is. Make sure they get prompts, they receive emails. We can put in text as well, which I would end up placing that in. Let's do that. Maybe I don't want to bombard them too much. So let's see what other examples. Just I'm not reinventing the wheel. Not that one. This is another one I've done. Here we go. These red ones, Twilio. Go back to go back to the first one. So after the second email, it's going to be here. All right, this is for the tax depreciation one. We want to send them this. Pause. I'm just going to paste it. So first name. So this is all maps. I hope the something like that. So messy. So I just want them to. They haven't seen the email, or you want to send it to their phones. They go back to the email and click on that link. I don't want to provide links in a text. People might think it's spammy, and they may not trust it. So I want it to come from a reliable source, which is going to be the email, because they have received it. Up until this point, they have already received um, sample report. So hopefully that builds trust. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to make it a bit easier. there we go. So in this case here, they receive, after they receive the sample report, you're going to get a follow-up, one email with no SMS. Second time they receive it a day after, you're going to receive a text message as a prompt. And the last email we send will be this text there. So turn that on. So hopefully that helps. So I've gone through the majority being the follow-up sequence and how it ties into the rest of the system. So hopefully that helped you. Bye for now. Cheers.